Hello, it's yet another day and we are back talking. And I really feel always excited talking to you. I still remain your friend and presenter, or you call me the host, Osezwa Anthony Elimihe. Today, I'm having a feeling that you have had a good time going through the videos, taking notes, and well, some questions have been coming to me, but off the channel. People who know me directly are sending questions to me via my other social media platforms. And I've always said to them, while I'm answering your questions, try as much as possible to send the questions on the channel so people can actually participate. I can, on the basis of that, see what level of generations I can do. Today, let us take a look at the subconscious blueprints. What does it mean, actually? You can see a subconscious blueprint as a direction, as a way that your life has been configured primarily to run. It's a program, you could call it the chief program of your life. It is at the core of your being. It is the central belief upon which every other systems build. Now, if you have a blueprint that says cheating is a way of life, any other blueprint that talks about generosity and kindness will not be able to stay. It will not stick because that blueprint of cheating, we guzzle it, we pull it out. Imagine you have an OS, like you have a particular OS. I don't know what to call them. I don't know how they are developing right now. I think I have Snow Leopard or something like that on my system. Now, yes, I think it's not that. I don't know which the OS it is right now, but I have a particular OS that is not able to accept Final Draft 12 installation. You see, now you will say it is the same application, Final Draft, yes, but it stops at 11. It cannot take beyond 11. If I bring it 12, it rejects it. But funny enough, this application is on my application folder, but it cannot be used. It is there. A lot of people have that kind of situation where their blueprint has not been upgraded. It's not been upgraded to accept a lifestyle that they have accepted mentally at the conscious level to go with. You have been let's assume that you have a lifestyle that gravitates towards lack. Or let us assume you have a subconscious blueprint that gives you a specific problem. Let's put it this way. You are a woman. You've been married for the past 10 years, 8 years, 7 years, 5 years or so. You'll be trying to conceive. You've not had a child. Okay? Now, that becomes a challenge to your life. You want to have a child. Okay? Doctors have checked you. They found out that everything is good. All systems on your physical body, your biochemical functions are perfect. You should be able to have a child. But you are not conceiving. What do you think? Some of you rush to one prophet or the other, go from one juju house to the other, but you forget that you are your creator. You are the creator of your reality. It's not as if those places cannot work. They can, if they are able to use enough data to impress upon you the need to rise above the level of that consciousness or that blueprint. Don't forget one thing. Your subconscious blueprint is a subconscious program. And every blueprint is an energy dynamic that is able to attract a particular kind of life into your world. Okay? Now, You created that blueprint at a level of consciousness. Okay, let me come here. A lot of people have been seeing this quote by Albert Einstein, which states that a problem cannot be solved at the same consciousness where it was created. Now, it's a very profound statement that people just take and run with. This is one of the problems with motivational or inspirational, speaks, where you just hear some high-sounding words that are very, very acceptable, but you do not know that there is a need to delve into the root causes that make those powerful truth statements not to work in people's lives. Now, supposing this lady is not able to conceive when she was, let's say, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, she was exposed to sex very early. And she was under the protection of her parents. And in their family, the idea of getting pregnant was seen as the end of life, as a disaster. She came up with that mentality. She grew up with that sense. So each time she had sex, the fear of getting pregnant was always hitting at her. At the conscious level, she was conscious of it, and she was always troubled. So each time she checked herself, after having sex, when her period is coming close, she panicked and said, God, let it not happen. I want to get pregnant. That will be the end of my life. That will be a disaster. She started having that fear and that confession, which is actually a form of affirmation, but it is very powerful because we are saying it is so much of emotion, so much feelings are going into it. And with this feeling comes fear, and that magnetizes a sense of, I don't want to get pregnant to your system. Now, let me tell you this. The human mind has two basic functions. With all that it does, but there are two basic functions that the human mind has. The first one is that it is commissioned against all odds to keep you alive. The mind will do everything to keep you alive. That's one. Two, the mind will do everything to keep you far from embarrassment. You see these things? These are the two things the mind is functioning to keep you in. That is why you go to bed, you still breathe. What controls your breathing and all the total mechanisms of your body is the mind. You eat food, the digesting process is done by the mind. All of these are subconscious functions of the mind. Okay? Your breathing, the taking in and taking out of air, is a function of the mind. The mind knows with automaticity that if a batch of air goes inside of you and it is not expelled at a given time, a given period of time, maybe 1 second, 3 seconds, you will die. Okay, so what the mind does is that it takes in the air and then pushes it out at the right time. It is its function. All right, you don't even control that. Your nails grow, your hair grow, your skin color remains intact. How? It is mind functioning at the fundamental level of subconscious. It is a very powerful tool for all forms of expression. Now, if you want anything to be changed in your life, you have to take it to the subconscious. How do you do that? Repetition. We all know that. When we're in kindergarten, primary, secondary, we're taught everything by repetition. Even till today, a lecturer comes to class and gives you, at the university level, they teach you. At the end of the class, they repeat everything they have taught as a way of rounding up. Repetition. It is the way. A habit is formed through repetition. If you want to kill old habit, repetition. Now you've been repeating this fear. I don't want to get pregnant. It will be a disaster. That will be the end of my life. God, no. This girl has been doing that for, say, 5-10 years. So the mind has taken the message. It is a very strong message. It is a pro-life engram that has been created. Pregnancy is disastrous. Pregnancy equals death. Now, from there, it goes to the subconscious, and it's also equals embarrassment, you know. They go to the subconscious and they stay there. The girl is no longer conscious of these things. She's living her life. She will tell her face, actually, I don't get pregnant because I watch my period. I watch when I sleep with a guy. She doesn't know that it is not really the thing she's doing that is stopping it. It is what she has created. This subconscious blueprint has been created on pregnancy. It's running. Then she's married. Every cell in her body is still at that age. 21, 16, 15, 18, 19. Is there. So, she sleeps with her husband. No pregnancy. Why? Because the subconscious blueprint needs to be dislodged. But this is what I told you before. Once something goes into the mind, it cannot be deleted. It stays there. What do you do when you have a subconscious blueprint that is negating your life quest in some areas? Guy, you need to elevate. I call it self-elevation. Self-elevation. You self-elevate. You have to grow beyond the frequency of that consciousness that's saying childbirth, pregnancy is an embarrassment. It equals death. It equals the end of your life. How? Now, you go back to the same process through which you created that problem. Which is the process? It is a process of repetition. Loving babies. Showing so much affection. Now, this is what we talk about where creative visualization comes in. Now, this is the problem. I will do a video on why people cannot creatively visualize. But I'll just give you this simple thing. When you get to the point where you fall in love with children and you fall in love with the idea of being pregnant, okay, and you feel your mind's pace with pregnancy as a positive experience, as a positive state of being, all right, you visit shops where baby things are sold. You watch videos of childbirth, child raising. You have children around you. You play with them. You love them. You kiss them. You bathe them. You all of those things. You start having the experiences of having a child. Now, this is a mistake people do. When they see children, it reminds them of their inability to get pregnant. They become sad. Get it? They see things that have to do with babies. They say, hell, just like what you also do when you don't have money. You have a particular house you want to build. Let's assume you walk to a building, a skyscraper, a 120-story building. You say, somebody built this. How? How much will I earn? How much will I save to build a house like this? You see, the thing about life is that the how is never the responsibility of you. The only thing that is your responsibility is to create a desire and make it a dominant desire for a particular period of time. And it will become materialized. It will materialize over time. The only thing is this. You have to be consistent with that desire. Do not proliferate that desire with other desire and start perforating it. It will gas out. In the same way, these women who are having issues sees babies and they start feeling bad. It reminds them of their inability to conceive. It does not help anybody. It creates and perpetuates the problem because you are seeing the impossibility in getting pregnant, and that is reinforcing the subconscious blueprints. So the way to rise above, to grow above it, is to fall in love with childbearing, child raising, nurturing, and then you begin to develop a positive image. I am trying to ensure that I don't do more than 15 minutes on this video, so I see the time is going. I will have to continue another video on this matter. So for now, ladies and gentlemen, it is a simple thing. Your life is here to determine. Deliver the emotions that elevate you, and you will go above the problems that suppress you right now.